in ancient history have to do with their 9 lives. Everybody knows about a cat having 9 lives, so the resurrection and the rebirth. So that part is what stood out to me. A lot of people look at me and they see my Instagram and they're like, oh, you know, they ask about little girls and how they look up to models and vixen models in particular, and you see me, you see my measurements, and you see my sexy pictures, and they think, well, I want to look like that, and you know, what did she do to get like that? Well, a lot of people don't know I used to be 300 pounds a few years ago. So I've had several rebirths. I've come from both sides of the fence as far as my looks and what I do in modeling. I am on the opposite side as a doctor, or I have a healthcare background. So I've been doing that for about 15 years now. I have a master's degree in healthcare administration. So I see all sides of that aspect. So I feel like with the rebirth and resurrection of a cat having 9 lives, I'm in one of those 9 lives right now, and I'm loving this part. This is great.
Right then, kitty.
I want to know about that the plastic surgery.
I knew it. That's why I knew it.
So I'm getting more away from that part only because I do medical tourism overseas.
Okay.
So my background here, COVID actually threw me into that because I was elective surgery consultant here in Atlanta for the last 5 years. So we did LASIK strictly. So it was it's elective. So LASIK is not something that people need, but it's something that people want. So I kind of got into that realm, and then I did a lot of research on plastics and came across a lot of friends that were getting things done, and it's almost normalized now. Like back in the day, it would be like, oh my gosh, she had plastic surgery. And now my inbox is booming with people that want to know, hey, where do I go to get this? Where do I go? What doctors are good in Miami? What doctors are good in DR? I had my weight loss surgery in 2012 before everybody started having weight loss surgery because insurance started covering it. And I had it in Mexico, and people thought I was crazy. You're going to Mexico to get surgery? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, y'all know I have a whole degree in this, right? Like, I know I researched the doctors in other countries are probably better than ours here. Our healthcare system is trash, as most people would know. But I did surgery back in 2012 before it was cool to lose weight. And I did, I lost 117 pounds that first year. So after that, of course, you have hanging skin and things like that. You have to get a little nip tuck. I delayed that for 8 years because I had 2 babies in between. So I recently did that as of last year, and as a gift from my husband to me, he decided, I'm gonna get you a mommy makeover. So I'm like, cool, I'll get rid of the stomach finally, and I'll be free of that. I did that. I came back to Atlanta. I did a photo shoot, and that was with Brooklyn Hughes at 365. So shout out to him. And the pictures took off because the thing is, people know me for my crazy measurements. So I'm 36, 29, and 53. So that that 53 was with me before when I was almost 300 pounds, just never left me. But everything else, I decided to enhance myself, and I'm big on body positivity and positive vibes, and I'm just riding the wave, and I'm manifesting everything for 2021. So
yay.
Yes.
Okay, so what would you say to somebody who just want a little sleeve, honey? I just need a little sleeve done.
I mean, that's the procedure I actually had. I suggest it for anybody that's trying to get better with their health. It is very demanding because you literally have to learn how to eat again. Like, you start off with baby food, actually, and then you have to teach your body what you can tolerate. So for example, my stomach was the size of a 300-pound person, and my stomach was the size of a football. They cut it down to the size of my thumb. So it was crazy the amount that you lose right away.
Dang,
but
that was a lot. And even do it to a watermelon, orange.
Right. Even now, 8 years later, I still have that restriction. But it really just restricts your portion size. So that is, how it works. So I suggest it for anybody, really. It's one of the least invasive procedures.
Now let me ask you this: can you stretch the thumb?
Oh yeah. So even now, after 8 years, you have certain rules you have to adhere by when you're done. You have to avoid carbs. You have to avoid carbonated drinks. Those things can stretch it back out. So you'll find a lot of people. I mean, you'll find a lot of people that are not successful long term because they don't actually change their lifestyle.
Gotcha.
So you do have to change your lifestyle. You do have to find a good health plan. And I know what Daryl was saying earlier, he's big into fitness. That is my arch nemesis. I wish I could be that gym rat, and I know that I should do these things. I do have a trainer I work out with. Shout out to NDM Too Fit. They have to keep me on track. Right. They have to keep me on track. So yeah, definitely you gotta keep up the maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay, and what else is it that you do?
So I am a luxury travel advisor. So with that, I book VIP experiences, private jets, chartered yachts, exclusive villas you won't find online, and things like that. So if you need that, hit me up. I can get you guys going. I am going to Cancun soon, so you guys check me out on my social to get into that. So
Why you do
The way he raised up behind
Like,
it. He wanna go.
oh yes, come on to Cancun with Kitty. Yeah, and I also do family business. My husband's an artist. He and I started in COVID Paint Like a Pro. So with that, it's like at home paint party kits, because in COVID nobody could go out and they weren't social. And so with these, they're already pre-drawn sketch canvases, and you just paint on them and your leisure at home. And a lot of people started doing like Zoom parties where they can have paint parties together and still connect with their family. So it's pretty cool.
I like how your
because we
slogans are so
actually
catchy.
they are. We actually had her husband, and you booked him.
Yes.
So I'm just now finally meeting you.
He got-
Art. What's
Arshad. Art by Arshad.
He's
You
a
remember
teacher.
Arshad?
Yes.
Got dreads.
Yes.
Man, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's
what's
him.
up.
We've
Yeah,
been
the spotlight was on her, so I wasn't going to mention it. But since she mentioned it, I'm like, okay, so we can say that then.
yes, we've
Real
been.
cool dude. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's why we're going to Cancun for the trip. It's our 10-year anniversary. We've been married going on 10 years in April. Together 14 years, 2 beautiful children. So yes, definitely check him out as well. He's very talented. He's been an artist from birth, and he's actually passed that down to my kids, which is really cool to
Yay.
Yeah, they're 2 and 6 and like prodigies. It's amazing.
So completely off topic, how do you make it last 14 years?
It sounds cliche, but definitely communication. So you have to be able to meet your partner on the same level. You have to be able to connect with your partner. Communication is a all be all. It's everything. So
What if one doesn't like to communicate?
that's going to be troubling. So I would say definitely get some counseling. I'm big on therapy.
Yeah.
Find out a way that works, because the thing is that people don't necessarily not want to communicate. They might not know how, or they not have ever had to communicate, or everybody's different. People come from trauma. They come from different walks of life, and they just don't know how, or they don't have an avenue to do so. So I would say definitely explore the reason why you can't communicate and get to it, because that is the only way it's going to work. You have to be on the same page with your partner.
So communication, people.
But knowing now that that's your husband and seeing, like, getting his personality and getting your person, it's kind of like polar opposites, because he was really quiet, but you're so bubbly. Like, how do you make that work?
Opposites attract, right? So he's a little reserved because I guess with his artistry that comes out in his art. But he turns up too, so if y'all see him in the club or something, that's him. But yeah, I'm Kitty. You know, I'm the outgoing I speak to anybody, and I never met a stranger. So yeah, we're opposites in that aspect, but it works. So
You said that you're a vixen model.
Right.
Can you really explain what that means?
Sure. So in the modeling industry, there's different types or subtypes of modeling. Vixen models are the ones you're going to see in the music videos. They're the girls you're going to see playing strip club members and things like that in the music videos, on magazines. They're considered body girls, so they're going to show off fashions that have to do with their body. Fashion, if you think of a model, you think of high fashion. That is not a vixen. I'm not tall, I'm 5'4". A vixen can be any height. The measurements for me put me in that category. I don't feel like I'm typecast, because I'm not really, I'm comfortable with the vixen route. I'm not really trying to delve into like high fashion or anything like that. And my little sister actually is a big iconic supermodel. Like she came from the era of supermodels. She's worked with Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell, and she's been on the Victoria's Secret fashion shows, all that. So I know the fashion route, and she's been very successful in that, but that's not me. So it's kind of funny to have in the family the vixen model and the high fashion model. So
Both models.
Yes, and there is a difference between both. I actually just talked about it. I'm on Clubhouse, and I just talked about that on my kitty chat about the difference between both. So yeah,
Tell
check it
everybody
out.
your Clubhouse name.
I'm on Clubhouse. It's Pretty Z Kitty, and I do a kitty talk on there. We just had a debate about vixen versus fashion models, because the fashion models gonna be, you know, like your 5'10", 6 foot girls, very, very slim, standard size. They model fashions, so that's gonna be the difference there. But vixen, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. So
No, I was gonna say no. I actually appreciate. Not, it's gonna sound real cliche because I'm got like vixen models, but no, like, but they, like, now that I know what it is, that particular brand seems as if you promote like self-esteem and confidence and whatever. How can you do that? Because, you know, I'm pretty sure that people will turn their nose up to it. So what do you say to anybody, a girl, guy, anybody who either is in that industry or involved with somebody in the industry? How can you and your husband, how do y'all handle that?
Well, like I said, communication. Me and him are very open. So, and he's very secure. To date a vixen or to be with a vixen model, you have to be secure. You can't be worried about who's in my inbox and what they're talking about. And like, I strictly do business, and he's secure with that. Being a vixen model, or the portrayal of a vixen model, is very polarizing because I'm a mom. You know, people like to judge, and you have either they're totally for it or they're totally against it. And a lot of people have negative things to say, or how little girls look up to vixen models and they kind of look up to a false standard. Or if you're not that way, then you're totally with the, hey, she's secure in her body, she's sexually free, she's, you know, body positivity. And like I said, that's a big thing for me. So I'm more so aligning myself with the positive aspects of that. But there are always going to be haters. There are always going to be people that want to say whatever they want. So you have to kind of, I always take the positive in any situation. So I kind of go that route. But yeah, it has a negative connotation just because it has to do with sex. But that's a whole nother story, because men do it all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
They show off with their money and their cars and things like that. But we show off with, you know, well, first of all, mine is there. Like, I can't hide it. If I walk in the room, it's like, okay. So it's there. I just embrace it because, you know, I didn't.
It's like you sitting on it too, right?
Right. I mean, it's real though. Yeah. I didn't get that in here.
Yeah. It's just like you just sitting up on it.
I didn't get that. Listen, I had some taken out, but
like a booster seat.
But yeah, it's a booster. I'm dragging that wagon, but
in a good way.
Yes, but yeah, I just had to embrace it because this is me. You know, this is how I am now, and you know, if you either like it or love it, or you hate it. So
there you go.
I love it.
Right.
I mean,
I got one more question.
Yes.
Just one more.
Mm-hmm.
So with your waist being so snatched and your butt, do you have to put a pillow or something? Like, how is that sleeping
it's very uncomfortable. I've always been like that though. So even when I was overweight, I've always had that shape where like you can't really lay down flat. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's more uncomfortable now. Like, but yeah, I have reinforcements. I sleep on a lot of pillows and things like that. So definitely it could be an issue.
I can't wait.
So let me
till
ask
I
you
get
this.
that
So
feeling.
if you like for working out, if you run into something like that, is your butt like heavy? Like does
Yes,
like,
it's heavy. Yes,
Like,
it's definitely heavy.
Stupid.
Heavy Chevy.
Chevy.
That's funny. But a lot of people, like, they look at me and they're like, oh, you know, and then I say I'm a plastic surgery consultant. They're like, oh my God, you're fake. Your body's fake. And I'm like, actually, no, I just had my whole fupa cut off. But everything else is the same from when I was, you know, a larger person.
but you can tell that. Like, I would have never thought that you, like, that you had anything enhanced in that. No, you look real.
It's natural, right? Yeah, I did. Like I said, I did the front, and I still got some things I'm working on. But I encourage anybody. Hey, I know a lot of girls kind of get reserved, like, oh, this is something I've been wanting. I have girls like I said, I've not met a woman that has not had some type of insecurity, and every every woman that feels that insecurity is they may want to enhance themselves or they want to better themselves. And I have my inbox full of people that tell me that, hey, I've been thinking about this. I don't know how to proceed with it, or they're ashamed to say that they're thinking about this. But they are thinking about it. So my encouragement is to go for it. Like, it's not out of reach. It's not impossible. It's not just for the elites anymore. So, I mean, if you want to do something better for yourself, then why not?
Amen to that. Cause I receive it. Look,
No.
I receive
You
it.
better not
And these
No,
will
you
sit
are-
up like
no.
this without a bra.
Thank you.
Come
Girl,
April.
but look
Oh,
at them
me
sitting
too.
up, though.
But the bra
Hold on, you
helps.
got a date. You didn't tell me that. She didn't say the month.
Next week for me, boo.
See, there you go. Unfortunately, we got to get out of here, guys. But make sure you tell everybody where to find you. And we thank you so much for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you guys for having me. So I'm on Instagram at pretty.z.kitty. Really looking forward to building my brand and my following on there. So check me out. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. All my info's on my Instagram as far as my traveling, my trip coming up. So yeah, y'all hit me up.